Hi there, my name is Rachel Melhorn. I'm the Family Bereavement Services Coordinator at Full Circle Grief Center. My role at Full Circle is to lead our Hands on Healing program. If you're not familiar with our Hands on Healing group, it's a support group for children ages 3 to 17 who have experienced the loss of someone significant to them. So, a lot of what we incorporate in our family groups are family activities so that children and caregivers have space and opportunity to connect around the loss. And so we wanted to kind of share with you some activities that we use in our family groups to support healthy emotion expression, talking about coping strategies, and also ways to support remembrance. This incorporation of family activities is sort of a hallmark of our hands on healing groups. So we're excited to share with you some tips and tools that you can use at home to kind of support children who are grieving. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all just so you have kind of a visual of what some of these activities will look like. Again, my name is Rachel Melhorn. You're welcome to reach out if anything doesn't make sense or you have questions or would like a little bit more information about any of these activities. Okay, let's see. Share screen. All right. So I just wanted to share a few tips to support kind of grieving children. I think sometimes, we jump to wanting to do things, and I think that remembering that your presence as a guardian, as a caregiver, is truly the most important thing. So the National Alliance for Grieving Children has a great resource, which we'll be sure to link with this posting about how to be a hero, is what they call it, to your grieving child or teen. And they have a few tips that I just wanted to kind of go over before we get started with some actual activities. So again, you are the best support, right? There's none of these interventions need to happen. You're your best. You're the best support for your child. So, providing time and space to listen. Oftentimes, when kids come to group, it's scheduled, set time that's set aside where they know that they're going to have an opportunity to share their feelings and talk about their special person. So, we found that providing a consistent time, consistent space for your child to kind of talk and share about their emotions and their special person is important. This can be kind of making that time before bedtime, maybe a certain evening of the week, or maybe even once a month going to visit a place that was significant to that person, or eating their favorite meal, and making sure your child has space to be heard. Um, and similarly with that, just allowing for a range of emotions, knowing that kids can experience sadness, but they can also experience anger and guilt or shame or loneliness or jealousy. And all of those feelings are normal, and not trying to change or make it better or try and fix it. Just allow for whatever they bring up to be there, and to just be a listening ear to support them, and knowing that any emotion they have is okay. Modeling and practicing healthy coping. Oftentimes, parents and guardians in our group are grieving themselves. And so, remembering to put your own oxygen mask on first before assisting others and supporting yourself. And kids are watching. So, modeling healthy coping as much as you can. And then, ways to practice that with your children. So, going on walks, or taking time to kind of have extra family time, things that you can model and practice together. Um, Establishing and maintaining family traditions is another one. So just sort of continuing to have set family time, and set time where kids know that they're going to be able to kind of be together as a family, and maybe establish some new traditions. Asking for support. A lot of our parents and guardians in our group talk about how there's so much support at the beginning, immediately after the loss. But as time goes on, that tends to dwindle. So just not being afraid to ask for when you need help with your kids or with your own grief. Um, I know that it can feel, for those of us that have other people in our lives that are struggling, it can feel so validating to have someone say, "Hey, can you just bring dinner over?" Right? So sharing what it is that you need with others in your life and allowing them to support you. Another one is creating new rituals, routines, and memories. So maybe around holiday times or certain events, the rituals or routines that you all did together as a family might feel different. And so knowing that it's okay to create new rituals, new routines, and new ways of remembering and connecting with that person. So again, just some kind of initial things to think about. But I think with all of this, the kind of theme is that, your presence, your listening ear, and you taking care of yourself is really the most important thing you can do to support your child. We're going to move into some kind of hands on activities that you can do at home with your kids to kind of continue to facilitate healthy coping. So, the first one is just in our family activities, we talk a lot about feelings expression and not keeping in those feelings and ways to normalize feelings of grief and loss, because oftentimes those things can feel very isolating. Kids feel like they're the only one, and sometimes don't know to how to express their emotions. So we'll go through a few things today of ways that you can kind of incorporate healthy discussion of feelings at home. Books are a really great and easy tool. These are some of our favorites that we use in our groups at Full Circle. I think that it validates to kids that not only do humans have happy feelings, but we have negative emotion and that we can have a range of emotion at the same time. Books are a great starting off point as well to kind of share a little bit of information and then kind of dive into some of these other activities as well. It kind of sets the scene and are good things to kind of come back to. If you don't have these books at home, no worries. A lot of these books are actually available on YouTube, where whether it's someone reading them or the author kind of going through them in a unique way. We also have a virtual story time on our website where we have some of these books on feelings and also some grief related books as well. So, books are a great tool. They're something that kids can come back to again and again and again. My personal favorite is the book In My Heart. And it just kind of explores a range of different feelings that I think a lot of kids really connect to. Another activity that we do in almost all of our hands on healing groups is called a feelings jar. It's a really simple but really effective way to support kids in sharing openly about their feelings. All you need is a glass or plastic jar. We use mason jars in our groups. And then pom poms of various shapes or colors. If you don't have pom poms, no worries. You can use different colored construction paper. You can use beads, just anything that has different colors. You can get as creative as you want with it. And all you're doing is assigning a different feeling to each color. So red might be angry or blue might be sad. And you're just allowing the child to fill up the jar with different colors based on how they feel. We like to have different sizes and or shapes of the objects. Like you can see in this picture, we have kind of a larger black pom pom and a smaller one, just so that there's room to talk about that our feelings can be different sizes. This activity also kind of demonstrates that we can have multiple feelings at once. You can shake the jar up and talk about how sometimes our feelings change and just kind of use it as a tool to check in. I also encourage parents to have their own feelings jar. So, this is something that you can do and appropriately talk about your own feelings with kids. Um, and you can kind of model that healthy feelings expressions with them. Um, so another great kind of easy tool again that you can use in the morning before bedtime, just as a way to get kids to kind of practice openly sharing. Similarly to the feeling jar, color your feelings is just something you need markers, colored pencils, and paper for. And you'll create a key with colors. So as you can see here, orange is weird, red is unsure, green is exhausted. And then you'll just invite the child to color in the circle or create a mandala, maybe for older kiddos. Doesn't have to be kind of in this picture. This person is kind of filling in the sizes. It can be just creating art with the feelings inside of the circle to show how big or small their feelings are. So, just another tool to kind of check in with your child about how they're feeling. And again, for you to do the activity at the same time and model feelings expression for them. Feelings chain is another one. You just need construction paper, something to connect the links, so stapler or tape, and then drawing supplies. That's it. And again, it can be something that you do every day where the child is picking a different color construction paper that represents how they feel. And then they're just writing a little bit about what's making them feel that way, or drawing what that feeling feels like, or something they can do when they feel that way to make themselves feel better. They can do a few chains every day if they have more than one feeling, or they can do one per day, and you can just kind of see that visual. I think the visual is really nice when you're talking about that our feelings change, and that we might feel sad feelings one day, and the next day we might feel happy, and that's okay. So that's another great kind of tool and resource to talk openly about feelings. Another piece of our family activities is to support healthy coping. And these are a couple that we use frequently in our groups. And it's a way to connect families together, to talk about coping strategies when things are difficult, and to talk about and connect with the strengths of you as a family. So the first one is called a coping skills mandala. It's really simple. All you need are magazines or something that you can do collage with. You can also just use basic art supplies and draw on this too. And then a pre-cut circle or a paper plate. Um, and together with your child, you'll just select images from magazines, or you'll draw things that support your family in coping. This is a great way to kind of talk about what coping strategies are, and that when we feel certain feelings, we can do things to help our feelings shrink, or we can do things to help ourselves to feel better. You can do this individually, so your child can do one and you can do one, or you can create one as a family. I think this is a great visual to have too. If you finish it as a family, put it on the refrigerator so that you can see some of the things when you are having those, difficult days. You have a visual of things that you can do to support yourself. It also gives you a little bit of insight if your kiddo is having some challenges with identifying coping strategies. It kind of allows you to teach them a little bit about things that they can do to support themselves when they are feeling a certain way. A great way to kind of start this conversation is just talking about things that they do that make them happy, or places that they like to go and visit. But again, a great visual and just kind of an easy tool to talk about coping. Another one that we do frequently in our groups is called a family coat of arms. And a coat of arms, sometimes people aren't quite familiar with what this is. It kind of looks like a shield, a family shield. And the idea is that, back in the day, each family had its own coat of arms or shield that represented the family and the strengths of the family. So, this is something that you would do together as a family. All you need is paper and drawing supplies, and you'd create that shield like shape. You can leave it cut out or not cut out, and just create your own coat of arms. So, just as each of us has our own uniqueness and things about us that create strength or are things about us that are special, families have this as well. So it's a chance for you, as maybe your kind of newer family unit, to connect over what is unique and special about you as a family. You can get as creative with this as you want. You can, create a family crest, an own design that represents your family. You can draw an animal to represent each member of your family. And it's also a good time to tie in your loved one or your special person that passed away, and, share colors or shapes that remind you of that person, drawing things that you used to like to do together. So it's really just a chance to kind of reinforce the strengths of your family and help the child to feel like they're not alone, to remind them that your family is strong and there's a lot of positive things and positive qualities and ways of supporting each other within the family unit. So that's another one that we use frequently in our groups. The last section is on remembrance. We think that having specific activities and ways of remembering those that we have lost is really important, and it's really important for kids to have that space to remember their special person. So these are a few kind of basic art activities that you can do at home to not only allow kids to remember and to talk about memories and special times, but also for them to kind of have something that is a visual, that they can kind of return to and can be a support when they need it. Um, we think that even though talking about memories for some kids can be difficult, giving them that space to kind of share is really important. So the first one is a memory lantern. So all you need here is paper bag or drawing supplies. You can also kind of, similar to the coping skills wheel, use magazines and scissors and glue if you wanted to kind of make it more of a collage. And then you can see from these ones, these have some of those like electronic tea lights inside. So you're creating a lantern. So you can do this again individually or together as a family, but you'll write or draw memories about your special person, or just create a bag that kind of memorializes them and represents them in some way. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. You can include things that you used to like to do with that person, special times you shared, or facts about them. This picture is from the American Cancer Society, so you can kind of see a different variety of how people chose to create these. But it's a really great visual, and the kind of symbolism of having it lit during certain times is really helpful to some families. So bringing it out during holidays or birthdays is just a kind of a special way to remember. It's also something that you can create at different periods, different times of the year. So maybe on this person's birthday or the anniversary of the day that they died, so that over the years you have kind of a collection of memory lanterns that you can light together as a family. The second one is a memory box, and you don't need a lot for this either. You can use a old shoebox or any kind of box that you have laying around, and any art supplies. So photographs, drawing supplies, magazines, scissors, glue, any kind of crafting supplies. And you're just inviting your child to decorate the box with special memories or things they loved about their special person, just as a way to kind of have a container for them to hold onto some special items. I think that um, having a place where these items can be kept that the child can return to that's accessible for them is really important. But doing this activity as a family where you're creating a safe place for these is a really special and empowering activity for kids. It's also a great opportunity for you to maybe go through some photos or things that belong to that person and share those things with your child if appropriate. It's also a place where kids can write down their memories, where you can, do create the memory box and invite them to draw or write about their favorite memory and put it inside of the box. And again, just another way that you as a family can kind of create something that allows for the child to talk about memories in a healthy way and explore some of their feelings around those memories, but also is another visual and something that they can use when the activity is over to revisit. So that is all of the kind of activities and interventions that we have to share. Again, sort of the hallmark of our groups at Full Circle are to provide an opportunity for families to share together and talk about feelings and coping strategies and ways to remember. And we hope that these activities will provide you and your family with an opportunity to kind of do some of these things in the space of your own home to connect with your child who is grieving. We really appreciate you being here. Again, feel free to reach out with any questions that you may have. Our website is a great resource. We have some series on our website called Family Fridays, which also has some other family activities you can check out. And we'd encourage you to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to kind of learn about some new family-based activities and resources that we post. Um, Thanks again. Appreciate you being here.